The stars looked the same as always through the viewing window of the merchant ship. Captain Dae Kim sat in his command chair, watching the endless darkness of space. His ship, the Horizon's Edge, was 3 days from home. The cargo hold was full of alien goods from the Veltan system. Trade goods. Nothing special. Just another boring run through safe space. Day was tired. He had been doing these routes for 5 years now. The same paths, the same stops, the same friendly aliens who smiled and traded and asked about Earth. Everyone in the galaxy knew humans as the friendly merchants, the ones who talked a lot but never caused trouble, the ones who brought good deals and fair prices. That was exactly what Earth wanted them to think. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," Hannah Park said from her station. She was the ship's navigator, a young woman with sharp eyes and quick hands. She frowned at her screen. "It's a distress signal. Very weak. Old-style emergency beacon." Day sat up straight. "Location? 2 hours away at current speed. It's coming from the civilian shipping lane near the Rexus belt." Hannah's fingers moved across her controls. "Wait. I'm getting more data now. It's a Veltan colony ship, the Peaceful Dawn." Day knew that ship. He had seen it leave the Veltan homeworld just 6 days ago. It was carrying families, children, people looking for a new home on the frontier worlds, 12,000 civilians with nothing but dreams and hope. "Get me a connection to that ship," Day ordered. "Tay, I want engines ready to jump to maximum speed. Yuna, prepare medical bay for possible casualties." Tay Sung, the ship's engineer, nodded from his station. He was a quiet man who loved machines more than people, but he was the best engineer Day had ever worked with. "Engines ready, Captain. We can be there in 90 minutes if we push hard." Yuna Lee, the medical officer, was already moving toward the door. She was kind and gentle with patients, but Day had seen her handle emergencies with ice-cold calm. "I'll have everything ready," she said. Hannah worked her controls, trying to reach the Veltan ship. Static filled the speakers. Then a voice came through. It was scared, desperate. "This is the Peaceful Dawn. We are under attack. The Krell. They came out of nowhere. Our shields are failing. We have no weapons. Repeat, we have no weapons. We are a civilian vessel with families aboard. If anyone can hear this..." The signal cut off. Just static remained. Day felt his stomach turn cold. The Krell. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the Krell Dominion. They were warriors, slavers. They attacked weak ships and took people to sell or use as workers. The Galactic Council talked about stopping them. They held meetings. They made rules. But they never actually did anything. And the Krell kept attacking. "Captain, what do we do?" Hannah asked. Her voice was steady, but Day could hear the fear under it. "We're a merchant ship. We don't have weapons either." That was what everyone thought. That was what Day had let everyone think for 5 years. He stood up from his chair. He walked to a panel on the wall that looked like every other panel. But this one was different. Day placed his hand on it. A small light flashed blue, reading his fingerprint and DNA. The panel slid open. Inside was a communication system that didn't appear on any of the ship's normal displays. A system that used frequencies the rest of the galaxy didn't know existed. A direct line to Earth Command. Hannah, Tay, and Yuna all stared. They had never seen this before. Day picked up the transmitter. He took a deep breath. He had hoped he would never need to use this. For 5 years, he had been just a merchant captain. But that was a cover, a lie, like everything else Earth had shown the galaxy. "Earth Command, this is Horizon's Edge, Captain Dae Kim, authorization code Delta 77 Black." His voice was calm, steady. "We have a situation. Veltan colony ship under Krell attack. 12,000 civilians, including children. Requesting Protocol Guardian authorization." The response came in less than 3 seconds. That alone told Day that Earth Command had been waiting, watching, ready. "Horizon's Edge, this is Earth Command. Protocol Guardian is authorized. Admiral Jin sends his regards. Hold your position near the Veltan ship. Help is coming. Repeat, help is coming. Stay safe, Captain. Understood, Command. Horizon's Edge out. Day put down the transmitter. He turned to face his crew. All three of them looked confused, scared, curious. Captain, what was that? Hana asked. What's Protocol, Guardian? Day smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who had kept a secret for too long. It means the Earth fleet is coming. The real Earth fleet. But Earth doesn't have a fleet, Tay said. Everyone knows that. We have merchant ships, research vessels. We're traders, not fighters. That's what we wanted everyone to think, Day said. He sat back down in his chair. Hana, set course for the Peaceful Dawn's last known position. Maximum speed. Tay, I need you to prepare the ship for combat protocols. Combat protocols? Tay looked even more confused. Captain, this ship is a merchant vessel. We haul cargo. We don't fight. Day touched another hidden panel. Throughout the ship, things began to change. Panels slid away. Hidden compartments opened. The cargo bay began to reconfigure itself. This ship, Day said quietly, is a Q-class merchant cruiser. The Q stands for quick response. Every Earth ship that travels outside our home system has hidden weapons and defensive systems. We've had them for 47 years. We just never needed to use them before. The main viewing screen changed. Hana gasped. She could see the modifications happening all over the ship. Weapon ports opening, shield generators coming online, sensor arrays extending that were far more powerful than any merchant ship should have. We've been lying? Hana asked. To everyone? For 47 years? Not lying, Day said. Preparing. Earth joined the Galactic Council and we saw what the galaxy was really like. We saw the Krell attacking the weak. We saw the Council doing nothing. We decided that the galaxy didn't need another warrior race. It needed protectors who would only act when innocent people needed help. Yuna spoke up from the medical station. So all this time, while we've been pretending to be simple merchants, Earth has been building the most advanced military fleet in the galaxy, Day finished, hidden in plain sight, waiting for moments exactly like this. The ship jumped to higher speed. On the sensors, Hana could see the Peaceful Dawn ahead. She could also see 8 Krell warships surrounding it. They were cutting into the hull, taking their time, making the Veltans suffer before they boarded and took everyone as slaves. Captain, we're one ship, Tay said. They have 8 warships. How can we... We don't fight them, Day interrupted. We protect the Veltans and we wait, because in about 45 minutes, those Krell are going to learn something new. They're going to learn what happens when you threaten innocence while humans are watching. Hana checked her long-range sensors. Her eyes went wide. Captain, I'm detecting something, multiple ships, coming out of slip space, but the signatures, they're not like anything I've ever seen before. Day smiled again. This time it was real, proud. Those are Earth warships, Hana, Wraith-class destroyers. The Krell have no idea they exist. No one does, but they're about to find out. The Horizon's Edge moved closer to the Peaceful Dawn. Day opened a channel to the Veltan ship on standard frequencies. Maybe someone was still alive to hear it. Peaceful Dawn, this is Captain Day Kim of the Earth vessel Horizon's Edge. We received your distress call. I know you're scared. I know it looks hopeless. But I need you to hold on. Earth is coming. Help is coming. Just hold on a little longer. He didn't know if anyone heard him, but he had to try. On the sensors, the Earth fleet was getting closer. 50 ships, then 60, then more. All of them had been hidden throughout the sector for years, waiting, watching, ready to protect those who could not protect themselves. The Krell had no idea what was about to hit them, and the galaxy was about to learn the truth about Earth. 6 hours earlier, deep beneath the city of Seoul on Earth, Admiral Jin Choi stood in a room that most humans didn't know existed. The war room was buried 3 kilometers underground. Heavy blast doors sealed it from the world above. Inside, massive screens showed maps of the entire galaxy. Every ship, every station, every hidden base that Earth had built in secret. Admiral Jin was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. He had been planning for this day for 30 years. He had hoped it would never come, but he had made sure Earth was ready if it did. "Admiral, we have the intercept," said General Bohan. He was a thick man with strong hands and a tactical mind like a computer. He pressed a button, and the recording of the Veltan distress call played through the speakers. Everyone in the room listened to the fear in the Veltan captain's voice. They heard the moment the transmission cut off, the moment the Krell started boarding. 12,000 civilians, said General Young Park. She was the youngest person in the room, but one of the smartest. Including 4,000 children. The Krell will sell them all as slaves. "What's the council doing?" Admiral Jin asked. Director Nari Song pulled up another screen. She ran Earth's intelligence network across the galaxy. She knew secrets about every species in the council. "They're debating. The Thexian representative wants to send a strongly worded message. The Aquarians are forming a committee to study the issue. The Veltans are begging for help, but no one is moving. It will be days before they decide anything." "And those civilians don't have days," Admiral Jin said quietly. "No, sir. They have hours, maybe less." Admiral Jin looked at the screens. He looked at the maps showing Earth's hidden fleet. 50 ships in that sector alone. Another 400 spread throughout the galaxy. All of them disguised as civilian vessels or hiding in places no one thought to look. For 47 years, Earth had played a game. They had joined the Galactic Council as friendly merchants. They smiled and traded and made friends. They sat in council meetings and listened to endless debates. They watched the Krell attack the weak while the council did nothing but talk. And secretly, quietly, Earth had built an army. "What are your orders, Admiral?" General Bohan asked. Jin took a deep breath. This was the moment. Once he gave this order, everything would change. The galaxy would learn Earth's secret. Some species would be grateful, others would be angry, some would be terrified. But 12,000 innocent people needed help, and that was all that mattered. "Activate Protocol Guardian," Admiral Jin said. "Authorize Captain Kim's request. Deploy all assets in the Rexus sector. I want those civilians safe within 2 hours." "Sir, if we reveal our fleet—" General Young started. "I know," Jin interrupted. "The galaxy will know we've been hiding our strength. They'll ask questions, they'll be afraid. Let them. We didn't build this fleet to conquer, we built it to protect. Today, we show them what that means." Director Nari touched her controls. Across the galaxy, hidden Earth ships received their orders. Weapons systems that had been disguised for decades came online. Civilian ships dropped their false outer hulls to reveal warships underneath. Battle stations hidden among the asteroids powered up their guns. On one of the screens, Admiral Jin watched a ship called the Soul's Hammer. It looked like a massive cargo hauler, slow and fat and harmless, but that was just the shell. At Director Nari's command, the shell split apart and fell away. Underneath was a dreadnought-class warship bristling with weapons, the most powerful ship in Earth's fleet. "Soul's Hammer is active," General Bohan reported. "All weapon systems online. They're ready to jump." "Send them in," Admiral Jin ordered. "And tell all ships, we save lives first. Disable the Krell ships if we can. Destroy them only if we must. We're not here to kill. We're here to rescue." Across the sector, Earth's hidden fleet began to move. In a fighter bay disguised as a civilian repair station, pilot Somin Kang ran toward her ship. She had been waiting for this moment for 3 years. 3 long years of pretending to fly a boring cargo hauler. 3 years of secret training and practice in virtual reality combat. 3 years of being ready. Her fighter didn't look like a fighter. It looked like a small shuttle. But like everything Earth built, it was a lie wrapped in metal and electronics. "Summon, you ready?" her wingmate Quan Li called out. He was already climbing into his own fighter. "I've been ready since the day I joined up," Soman called back. She strapped into her seat and started the launch sequence. Around her, the civilian shuttle began to transform. Wings extended, weapon ports opened. The engine core that had been running at 10% power jumped to full combat capacity. "All fighters, this is Admiral Jin," the voice came through her helmet. "You know what to do. You've trained for this. Remember your mission. Protect the innocent. Show the galaxy what Earth really is. Make us proud." Soman smiled. She pushed her throttle forward and her fighter shot out of the bay. Around her, 200 other fighters did the same. They had all been waiting, all been ready, all been hiding their true purpose. Now, the hiding was over. The Krell commander, Vrok, stood on the bridge of his warship, the Bone Crusher. He was enjoying himself. The Velton colony ship was helpless. His warriors were cutting through the hull, taking their time. He liked to let the fear build. It made the slaves more obedient later. "Commander, we're detecting ships approaching," one of his officers said. Vrok barely looked up. "Who?" "Scanning. They appear to be Earth vessels, merchant class, probably coming to beg for the Veltan's lives." Vrok laughed. He had met humans before, weak creatures who talked too much and fought too little. They sat in their council meetings and debated while real warriors like the Krell took what they wanted. "How many ships?" he asked. 50. "No, wait. More are appearing. 70. 90. Commander, over 100 ships are coming out of slipspace." That was unusual, but Vrok wasn't worried. "Are they warships?" "Sensors say no. They appear to be civilian vessels, cargo haulers, research ships, nothing dangerous." Vrok smiled. "Perfect. We can take those ships too. More slaves to sell, more cargo to steal. The humans are delivering themselves to us." But then something strange happened. The sensors started screaming warnings. The civilian ships were changing. Outer hulls were falling away. Weapon systems were appearing where there should only be cargo bays. "Commander!" The sensor officer's voice was rising in panic. "The ships are transforming. They're warships. All of them are warships." Vrok felt the first touch of doubt. "That's impossible. Humans don't have warships. Everyone knows that." "Sir, we're being hailed. It's an Earth vessel. They're calling themselves the Soul's Hammer." "Put it on screen," Vrok ordered. The view screen lit up with the image of a human, an older male with gray hair and eyes like ice. He wore a uniform that Vrok had never seen before, a military uniform. "Krell vessels," the human said. His voice was calm but hard as stone. "This is Admiral Jin Choi of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are attacking a civilian vessel in violation of Galactic Council law. You have 30 seconds to withdraw from the Veltan ship and power down your weapons. This is your only warning." Vrok couldn't help it. He started laughing. "Earth Defense Fleet? You have no fleet. You're merchants, traders. You don't even have a military." "We let you believe that," Admiral Jin said. "It was useful for you to think we were weak. But today the truth comes out. You have 15 seconds to comply." Vrok's laughter grew louder. "You think you can threaten the Krell Dominion? We have conquered 47 species. We have 8 warships here. You're surrounded. Make us surrender, little human." "As you wish," Admiral Jin said. His expression never changed. "All ships, weapons free, target their weapons and engines. Disable only. Try not to kill them." The screen went dark. Vrok turned to his weapons officer. "All ships, open fire. Show these humans what real warriors—" The universe exploded into light. But the explosions weren't on the human ships, they were on Vrok's ships. Every single Earth vessel had fired at the same moment. Their weapons were like nothing Vrok had seen before. Solid metal slugs moving at impossible speeds. Energy weapons that cut through shields like they weren't even there. Electronic attacks that made his own computers turn against him. "Return fire!" Vrok screamed. His ships tried. But the Earth vessels moved like ghosts. They dodged and weaved with impossible precision. Their defensive systems shot down every missile. Their shields absorbed every energy blast. And they kept firing. One of Vrok's cruisers lost all its weapons in under a minute. Another ship had its engines destroyed. A third ship went dark as its power systems failed. "What's happening?" Vrok demanded. "Sir, they've hacked our systems. They're inside our computers. They're locking us out." Vrok grabbed his weapon officer. "Target the Veltan ship. If we can't win, we'll kill the civilians." The officer tried. His fingers hit the controls. Nothing happened. "Sir, our weapons won't respond. The humans have locked us out of our own guns." For the first time in his long, brutal career, Commander Vrok felt real fear. The space around the Veltan colony ship had become a light show of destruction. But it was controlled destruction, precise destruction. Earth's ships were not trying to kill the Krell. They were trying to stop them. Somin Kang pushed her fighter through a tight turn that would have crushed a normal pilot. But her seat had gravity compensators and her body had years of training. She didn't even feel the pressure. Her targeting computer locked onto a Krell bomber that was trying to reach the Veltan ship. "Target locked," she said to herself. She pressed the trigger. A burst of energy shot from her fighter and hit the Krell bomber's engine. The engine exploded in a shower of sparks. But the rest of the ship stayed intact. The bomber tumbled away, powerless and harmless. The pilot was alive, scared, but alive. "Nice shot, Salman," Quan Li's voice came through her helmet. "That's 3 for you. I'm up to 5. "Show off," Salman said, but she was smiling. Around her, Earth's fighters moved like a deadly dance. They flew in perfect formation. They covered each other. They communicated without words, their neural links connecting their minds just enough to fight as one unit. The Krell had never seen anything like it. Their own fighters were brave and strong. But they flew alone. Each pilot fought for his own glory. Earth's pilots fought as a team, and the difference was devastating. On the Soul's Hammer, Admiral Jin watched the battle unfold across multiple screens. Every ship was reporting. Every target was being tracked. The artificial intelligence systems that Earth had spent decades developing were processing millions of pieces of data every second. "Sir, 6 Krell ships are disabled," General Bo Han reported. 2 more are trying to retreat, but we've locked down their slipspace drives. They're not going anywhere. "What about the Veltan ship?" Jin asked. "Captain Kim's team is already docking with it. Medical teams are standing by." Jin nodded. This was going exactly as planned. Earth had spent 47 years preparing for this moment. They had studied every species' technology. They had developed weapons and defenses that were generations ahead of anything else in the galaxy. They had trained in secret, prepared in silence, and now it was paying off. On the horizon's edge, Captain Dae Kim guided his ship close to the damaged Veltan colony vessel. Engineer Tae Sung was already in his repair suit, moving toward the airlock with equipment that looked far too advanced for a civilian ship. "I'm seeing multiple hull breaches," Tae reported. "The Krell cut through 6 sections. I can seal them, but it will take time." "Do it fast," Dae said. "Yuna, how many wounded are we looking at?" Medical Officer Yuna Lee was studying her scans of the Veltan ship. "At least 300 injured, maybe 50 critical. I'm going to need help." "You'll have it. The Soul's Hammer is sending over their medical teams." The airlock connected with a solid thunk. Dae opened the door and saw Veltan civilians staring at him with wide, terrified eyes. They were huddled together in a corridor that smelled of smoke and fear. Children cried. Adults held each other. They all looked at Day like he was a ghost. "It's okay," Day said gently. "We're here to help. Earth is here. You're safe now." A Veltan captain pushed through the crowd. His name was Melos, and he looked like he had aged 10 years in the last hour. "You're human? But humans don't have warships. Everyone knows that." Day smiled. "We do now. Come on, let's get your people somewhere safe." Outside in space, the battle was ending. Commander Vrok's fleet was completely disabled. Every ship was floating dead in space. Their weapons were offline. Their engines were destroyed. Their shields were down. But their life support was still working. The crews were alive. Admiral Jin opened a channel to all the Krell ships. "Krell warriors, this is Admiral Jin. Your ships are disabled. Your weapons are gone. You cannot fight. You cannot flee. But you can live. Surrender now and you will be treated according to Galactic Council law. You will be prisoners, but you will not be harmed. You have my word." On the Bone Crusher, Vrok stared at the screen in disbelief. His mighty warship was helpless. A human ship 1/3 its size had destroyed his engines with a single shot. His weapons officer couldn't even access their own controls because the humans had hacked their systems. "How?" Vrok whispered. "How did you do this? We had 8 warships. You had civilian vessels." "We had warships pretending to be civilian vessels," Jin corrected. "For 47 years, Earth has been preparing. We studied your tactics. We learned your weaknesses. We built weapons you've never seen. And we did it all in secret because we knew this day would come. The day when talking would fail and action would be needed." "You deceived the entire galaxy," Vrok said. "We protected ourselves," Jin replied. "And today, we protected innocence. That's what our weapons are for. Not conquest, not glory, protection." Vrok slumped in his chair. He had never surrendered before, never even thought about it, but he was beaten, and he knew it. "We surrender. Just don't kill my crews." "We won't," Jin promised. "Unlike you, we don't kill the helpless." The Krell ships sent out surrender signals. Earth Marines boarded them carefully, taking the crews into custody. Every Krell warrior was searched and secured. Every weapon was taken, but as promised, no one was hurt. Specialist Rena Cho sat at her station on the destroyer Inchen's Pride. She was the one who had hacked the Krell systems. She was the one who had locked them out of their own weapons and engines. Her fingers had moved across her keyboards like lightning, breaking through their security in minutes. "Good work, Rena," her commander said. "They made it too easy," Rena replied. "Their computer security is 20 years behind ours. They never expected anyone to attack them electronically." "They never expected anyone to attack them at all," her commander said. "The Krell have been bullies for so long, they forgot what it's like to face real opposition." Back on the Veltan ship, Yuna Lee worked quickly to treat the wounded. Her medical team had equipment that seemed like magic to the Veltans. Scanners that could see inside bodies without cutting. Medicines that healed wounds in hours instead of days. Surgical tools that operated with perfect precision. A young Veltan child looked up at Yuna with big, scared eyes. "Are you angels?" the child asked. Yuna smiled and gently bandaged the child's arm. "No, sweetheart. We're just humans. We're just people who don't like bullies." On the Soul's Hammer, Admiral Jin received a priority message. His expression darkened as he read it. "What is it, sir?" General Bohan asked. "The Galactic Council has detected the battle. They're demanding an explanation. Ambassador He Young is dealing with it right now." "And the Krell?" Jin's jaw tightened. "The Krell Dominion's main fleet has been alerted. Over 300 warships. They're entering the sector as we speak." The room went quiet. 50 Earth ships had just defeated 8 Krell warships. But 300? Even with Earth's technology, those were bad odds. "What are your orders?" "Admiral," General Young Park asked. Jin looked at the screen showing the rescued Veltan civilians, families hugging each other, children who had stopped crying, people who had been facing slavery and death, now safe because Earth had acted. "We knew this might happen," Jin said. "Send the signal. Activate all reserve fleets. It's time to show the Krell our full strength." "Sir, if we reveal everything—" "We already revealed we have a military," Jin interrupted. "We might as well show them how strong it really is. Send the message to all Earth ships across the galaxy. Converge on this sector. Protocol Guardian is now full deployment." Director Nari Song sent the signal. Across known space, hidden Earth ships received their orders. Ships that had been hiding for decades, battle stations disguised as research outposts. Entire fleet groups stationed in systems the Council had marked as abandoned. Earth's true military strength was about to be revealed. On the Bone Crusher, Commander Vrok's communication officer looked up in surprise. "Sir, Warlord Threx himself is entering the sector, the entire home fleet, over 300 ships." Even in defeat, Vrok felt a moment of satisfaction. "The humans defeated us, but they can't defeat the entire Krell Dominion. Threx will crush them. He will make them pay for this humiliation." But then the officer spoke again, his voice confused. "Sir, I'm detecting more ships. Human ships. Lots of them. They're appearing all over the sector." "How many?" The officer checked his sensors again, then again. "Sir, I'm counting. Over 400 ships. And more are still arriving." Vrok's satisfaction died. 400 ships. Humans had 400 warships. That was impossible. Humans were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to be merchants and traders. "They lied to us," Vrok whispered. "They lied to everyone. They've been building an army this whole time." On the Soul's Hammer, Admiral Jin watched as his fleet assembled. Destroyers and cruisers and carriers, battle platforms and fighter wings and support ships. 47 years of secret construction. 47 years of preparing for the day when Earth would need to defend the innocent. That day had come. "Sir, Warlord Threx is hailing us," General Bohan said. "Put him on," Jin ordered. The screen showed a massive Krell warrior covered in scars and battle armor. Threx looked like he had been born to fight. He had commanded the Krell military for 3 decades. He had conquered 47 species. He had never lost a battle. "Human," Threx growled. "You have attacked Krell warriors. You have humiliated the Dominion. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick." Admiral Jin met his gaze without fear. "Warlord Threx, your forces attacked a civilian vessel carrying children. We responded to protect innocent lives. Your commander has surrendered. I suggest you do the same." Threx laughed. It was a harsh, brutal sound. "I have 300 warships. You have, what, 50? Look at your sensors again," Jin suggested. Threx did. His laughter died. Warlord Threx stared at his sensor displays and felt something he had not felt in 30 years of warfare. Doubt. His officers were calling out numbers that made no sense, numbers that should not be possible. "Sir, confirmed count is 417 human warships," his sensor chief said. "And more are still arriving through slipspace." "That's impossible," Threx said. "Humans don't have a military. The Council records show they have merchant ships only." "The Council records are wrong, sir." Threx looked at the tactical display. The human ships were positioning themselves between his fleet and the Veltan colony vessel. They were spreading out in a defensive formation that covered every possible approach. Their movements were precise, professional. These were not merchants playing at war. These were trained military crews. "What kind of ships are they?" Threx demanded. "Unknown classes, sir. Our database has no record of them. But they're showing weapon signatures far more advanced than our own. And, sir, they're launching fighters." "Thousands of fighters." Threx watched as small craft poured from the human ships like angry insects. Each fighter moved with incredible speed and precision. They formed up into squadrons with the kind of discipline that took years to develop. How long have they been hiding this? Threx wondered aloud. His intelligence officer pulled up data. Sir, Earth joined the Galactic Council 47 years ago. If they started building their military, then... They've been lying for 47 years, Threx finished. Building an army in secret while pretending to be peaceful traders. On the Soul's Hammer, Admiral Jin stood calmly watching the Krell fleet. General Bo Han stood beside him, reviewing tactical data. Sir, the Krell fleet is holding position, Bo Han reported. They haven't fired or advanced. I think we surprised them. Good, Jin said. Fear makes people think carefully, and I want Threx to think very carefully about what happens next. The other council species are monitoring this, Director Narration said. Every major power in the galaxy has sensors pointed at us right now. Whatever happens here, everyone will know about it. Jin nodded. That's fine. It's time the galaxy knew the truth about Earth anyway. How's Ambassador He Young doing at the council? She's handling it, Nari said with a small smile. At the Galactic Council chambers, 3,000 light-years away, Ambassador He Young stood in the center of the debate floor. Hundreds of alien representatives surrounded her, all of them shouting questions and accusations. Earth has violated every treaty, the Thexian ambassador yelled. You claim to have no military. You lied to the council. We never claimed to have no military, He Young replied calmly. We simply didn't discuss it. There's a difference. You deceived us, the Aquarian delegate accused. No, He Young said firmly. We protected ourselves. When Earth joined this council, we watched how you handled threats. We saw the Krell attack civilian ships. We saw pirates raiding colonies. We saw slavers taking innocents. And we saw this council do nothing except talk. So we prepared to do what you would not. You had no right, someone started. We had every right. He Young's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. We are a sovereign species. We have the right to defend ourselves and our interests. And today, we used that right to save 12,000 Veltan civilians that this council was debating about while they died. The Veltan representative stood up, his voice shaking with emotion. The humans saved our children, our families. They acted while you all discussed and formed committees. I stand with Earth. There was a moment of shocked silence. Then the Aquarian delegate spoke again, more carefully this time. What happens now? Will Earth use this fleet to conquer? To dominate? He Young met his eyes. Earth has had this fleet for 47 years. In all that time, we never used it for conquest. We never attacked anyone. We never threatened anyone. We only revealed it today because innocent people needed protection. That should tell you everything you need to know about our intentions. Back in the Rexus sector, Warlord Threx made his decision. He opened a channel to Admiral Jin. Human Admiral, Threx said, you have more ships than I expected, but I still have 300 warships. This will be a bloody battle. Many will die. Including you, Jin replied. Our technology is better than yours. Our tactics are superior. We've been studying the Krell military for 47 years. We know every strategy you've ever used, every weakness in your ships, every flaw in your formations. You will lose this battle, Warlord. The only question is how many of your warriors die before you accept that. Threx's pride burned. He had never backed down from a fight, never surrendered. He was Krell. Warriors did not run from battle, but he was also responsible for 300 ships and 30,000 warriors, and this human was right. The battle would be bloody, perhaps too bloody. If I withdraw, Threx said slowly, what happens to Commander Vrock and his crews? They will be treated as prisoners of war, Jin said. Fed, housed, allowed to communicate with their families. When the Krell Dominion stops attacking civilian vessels, we will discuss their return. You would not execute them? We are not the Krell, Jin said. "We don't kill prisoners. We follow the Galactic Council's rules of warfare, even if you don't." Threx was about to respond when his communication officer interrupted. "Sir, new ships arriving. Not human, not Krell." "Who?" Threx demanded. "Veltan Empire military, sir. And Aquarian Defense Forces. And sir, I'm counting ships from 12 different council species. They're all taking positions around the human fleet." Threx pulled up the tactical display. It was true. Ships from across the council were arriving, not many from each species. A few dozen here, a few dozen there. But together they added up to almost 100 additional ships, and they were all positioning themselves alongside Earth. Admiral Jin saw them too. He opened a channel to the nearest Veltan warship. "Veltan Fleet, this is Admiral Jin. We appreciate the support, but this is Earth's action. You don't need to risk yourselves." The Veltan fleet commander appeared on screen. He was an older male with proud eyes. "Admiral, you saved our civilians when no one else would. Our children are alive because of you. We stand with Earth, always." Other channels opened. An Aquarian captain, a Thexian military leader. Species that had questioned Earth just hours ago were now flying alongside them. "Earth fought while the Council debated," the Aquarian captain said. "That deserves support." Warlord Threx watched this happen and felt his certainty crumble. He was not just facing Earth anymore. He was facing a coalition. Species that had never worked together were united against him, all because Earth had done what the Council could not: act quickly to save lives. "Sir, what are your orders?" Threx's tactical officer asked. Threx looked at the numbers. 400 human ships, 100 Council ships, against his 300, and the humans had better technology, better tactics, better coordination. He could fight. He would probably even hurt them badly, but he would lose, and the Krell Dominion could not afford to lose their entire home fleet. "Open a channel," Threx ordered. Admiral Jin's face appeared on screen again. "Human Admiral, I will withdraw," Threx said. The words tasted like poison, but he said them anyway. "But know this, the Krell Dominion does not forget. We will return." "If you return to attack innocents, we'll be ready," Jin said. "If you return with peaceful intentions, you'll be welcome. The choice is yours, Warlord." Threx wanted to rage, to threaten, to promise violence, but he saw something in the human admiral's eyes that stopped him. Not fear, not hatred, just calm certainty. This human believed every word he said, and he had the force to back it up. "We withdraw," Threx repeated. He cut the channel and gave the order to his fleet. The 300 Krell warships slowly turned and jumped to slipspace. They left behind the 8 disabled ships and their crews. They left behind their pride. And they left behind the certainty that they could attack anyone they wanted without consequences. On the Soul's Hammer, the crew cheered. Admiral Jin allowed himself a small smile. "Sir, message from Earth Command," General Bohan said. "The Council has voted. They're authorizing Earth to act as a rapid response force for civilian protection." "They're making us official," Jin said. "Interesting. I wonder if they realize what they just did." "Sir?" Bohan looked confused. "They gave Earth permission to deploy our fleet anywhere in Council space," Director Nari Song explained. "They legitimized our military. Earth went from secret peacekeepers to official protectors in one afternoon." Jin nodded. "And once other species see our technology, they'll want it. They'll want joint training, joint operations. We'll go from isolated to central to Council defense in a few years." "Is that good or bad, sir?" General Young Park asked. "That depends on what we do with it," Jin replied. He looked at the view screen showing the rescued Veltan civilians. "As long as we remember why we built this fleet, to protect those who cannot protect themselves, we'll be fine." Pilot Somin Kang guided her fighter back to its carrier. She was exhausted, but exhilarated. 3 years of secret training had paid off. She had helped save thousands of lives. "Good work today, pilot," her commander said over the comm. Thank you, sir, Soman replied. Does this mean we don't have to pretend to be cargo pilots anymore? Actually, we still might. The galaxy knows we exist now, but they don't know how many of us there are. Let's keep some secrets, shall we? Soman smiled. Yes, sir. I can live with that. Captain Dae Kim stood on the Veltan colony ship, watching the last of the wounded being transferred to Earth medical ships. The Veltan Captain Melos approached him. I don't know how to thank you, Melos said. You don't need to thank me, Dae replied. We did what anyone should do. We helped people who needed it. But you risked yourselves. You revealed secrets you had kept for decades. Dae shrugged. Some things are worth the risk. Your people's lives were worth it. Melos extended his hand in the human gesture of respect. Dae shook it. If Earth ever needs help, Melos said, the Veltan Empire will remember this day. All across the sector, similar conversations were happening. Species that had dismissed Earth as weak traders were now seeing them as powerful protectors. Fear and respect mixed together. 3 weeks had passed since the battle at Rex's sector. The galaxy was still talking about it. News feeds across hundreds of worlds showed footage of Earth's fleet appearing from nowhere. Analysts debated how humanity had hidden such power for so long. Politicians argued about what it meant for galactic politics. But the most important changes were happening quietly. On the Krell homeworld, the military council met in an ancient war hall. Warlord Threx stood before them explaining his retreat. Some warriors called him a coward. Others argued he had saved the fleet from destruction. The debate raged for hours. Finally, the eldest council member spoke. The question is not whether Threx was right to retreat. The question is, what do we do about the humans? We attack, said a young warlord. We gather our full strength, 500 ships, 1,000. We crush Earth before they become too powerful. And if we lose, the elder asked. We attacked 800 human ships with 300 of our own. Our intelligence says they have more ships we haven't seen. How many more? How much more advanced technology do they have hidden? The room fell silent. No one knew the answer. I propose a different path, the elder said. The humans offered to return our captured warriors if we stop attacking civilian vessels. Perhaps we should consider that offer. You want us to surrender? The young warlord was outraged. I want us to survive, the elder replied. The Krell Dominion has conquered through strength. But we have never faced an enemy like Earth. An enemy that hides for decades, plans for generations, strikes with precision instead of rage. We must adapt, or we will be destroyed. The debate continued. But the elder's words planted seeds of doubt. The Krell had always believed they were the strongest. Now, they knew they were not. At the Galactic Council chambers, Ambassador He Young sat in a private meeting with representatives from 15 species. They wanted to know about Earth's technology. They wanted joint defense agreements. They wanted training programs. How long have you really had this military? The Aquarian delegate asked. 47 years, He Young confirmed, since the day we joined the council. And you never told anyone? Would you have believed us if we had? He Young asked. Earth was new to the galaxy. Unknown. If we had announced we were building a massive fleet, what would you have thought? The Thexian representative answered honestly. We would have thought you were planning to conquer us. We would have formed alliances against you, probably attacked you before you became too strong. Exactly, He Young said. So we stayed quiet. We built our strength in secret. We waited until the moment we needed to act, and then we acted. Not for conquest, not for territory, but to save innocent lives. And now, the Veltan representative asked, what does Earth want? He Young looked at each of them carefully. We want what we've always wanted. Peace, trade, friendship. But we also want something new. We want the Council to actually protect its members instead of just debating while people die. If Earth's fleet can help make that happen, we're willing to share our resources." "Share how?" an Aquarian asked. "Joint training," He Young said. "Technology exchanges, coordinated response to threats. Earth doesn't want to be the galaxy's police force, but we're willing to be part of a real defense coalition, one that acts when needed." The representatives looked at each other. This was a major shift in how the Council operated. For centuries, it had been a place for talk, for diplomacy, for slow, careful decisions. Earth was offering to make it something more, something active, something powerful. "We'll need to vote on this," the Thexian said. "Of course," He Young replied. "Take your time. Debate it thoroughly. But while you're debating, Earth will keep protecting those who need it, with or without Council approval." That was the real message. Earth had shown it could act independently. The Council could work with them or be left behind. On Earth, Admiral Jin Choi walked through the military academy outside Seoul. It was no longer hidden. The world knew about it now. Young cadets from Earth and other species trained together in the open. General Bohan walked beside him. "We've received applications from 47 different species wanting to send students to our academy." 47, Jin mused. The same number of species the Krell had conquered. Interesting coincidence. "Not really a coincidence, sir. Those species see us as their best hope against future Krell aggression." Jin watched a group of human and alien cadets practicing combat simulations together. "How are the mixed units working out?" "Better than expected. Each species brings different strengths. Humans are good at quick thinking and innovation. Veltans have excellent spatial awareness. Aquarians are natural pilots. Together, they're more effective than any single species alone." "Good," Jin said. "That's what we need. Unity, cooperation, not human dominance, but partnership." They walked past a memorial wall. On it were the names of the 12,000 Veltan civilians rescued at Rexus. At the bottom was a simple inscription: "We came when no one else would." "Sir, do you think we did the right thing?" Bohan asked. "Revealing ourselves like that? We had the element of surprise. Now everyone knows our capabilities." Jin was quiet for a moment. "We didn't reveal everything. The galaxy knows we have a fleet, but they don't know its full size or all its capabilities. We still have secrets. But yes, I think we did the right thing. 12,000 people are alive because we acted. That's what matters." In a refugee center on a Veltan colony world, the survivors of the peaceful dawn were starting new lives. Children played in gardens. Families built homes. They were safe. A small Veltan child named Kessa sat in a classroom learning about Earth. Her teacher showed videos of the rescue. Kessa had been on that ship. She remembered the fear, the darkness, the certainty that she would die or be enslaved. Then she remembered the humans arriving, the Earth ships appearing from nowhere, the Marine who had carried her to safety and told her everything would be okay. "When I grow up," Kessa announced to her class, "I want to be like the humans. I want to help people who are scared." Her teacher smiled. "Then you should study hard. Maybe one day you'll join Earth's academy. They accept students from all species now." Kessa's eyes went wide with hope. That became her dream, her purpose. She was not alone. Across the galaxy, young people from dozens of species looked at what Earth had done and felt inspired. They wanted to be protectors, too. Defenders of the innocent. Warriors for peace. Earth's greatest weapon was not its ships or its technology. It was the idea it represented. The idea that power should be used to protect, not to conquer. On a space station on the edge of Council space, Captain Dae Kim prepared his ship for another merchant run. The horizon's edge looked the same as always. But now everyone knew what it really was. A warship in disguise, ready to help at a moment's notice. Hannah Park sat at her navigation station. "Where to?" "Captain, the Meridian sector," Day replied. "There's been some reports of pirate activity. Council ships are 3 weeks away. We're closer." Tae Sung looked up from his engineering station. "We're not waiting for council authorization?" "Did we wait last time?" Day asked with a smile. "No, sir. We did what was right." "Exactly. Plot the course, Hannah." As the ship prepared to jump to slipspace, Day thought about how much had changed in 3 weeks. Earth was no longer hiding. The galaxy knew the truth. Some species were grateful, some were afraid, some were angry, but innocence had been saved, and more would be saved in the future. That was what mattered. 6 months after the Rexus incident, the Krell Dominion made an unexpected announcement. They were releasing one of their enslaved species. The Tarish people, held in bondage for 30 years, were being freed. It was a small gesture, one species out of dozens the Krell had conquered, but it was a start. Admiral Jin received the news in his office on Earth. He knew why the Krell had done it. They were testing, trying to see if Earth would truly negotiate if they showed good faith. He opened a secure channel to the new Krell leadership. The old Warrior Council had been replaced by younger, more flexible leaders. "This is Admiral Jin," he said. "We acknowledge your gesture of releasing the Tarish. It's a good first step." "Will you return our captured warriors now?" the Krell leader asked. "Release 3 more enslaved species," Jin replied. "Show us this is real change, not just a trick. Then we'll return half your warriors. Release all the enslaved species, and we'll return everyone." There was a long pause. "You drive a hard bargain, human." "I'm not bargaining. I'm setting terms for peace. You can accept them or not. Either way, Earth and its allies will protect the innocent. The choice is yours." The channel closed. Jin didn't know if the Krell would agree, but he had planted the seed. Change was possible, even for the most brutal species, if they wanted it badly enough. 1 year after the SOS that changed everything, a new distress signal reached Earth space. A species called the Meridians, unknown to the Council, was under attack by slavers from outside Council territory. The Galactic Council met to discuss it. Committees were formed. Debates began. Captain Dae Kim didn't wait. Neither did 15 other Earth ships in the area. They changed course immediately. Their civilian hulls retracted. Their weapons powered up. Across human space, more ships prepared to move. Admiral Jin coordinated from Earth Command. General Bo Han assembled a task force. Specialist Rena Cho prepared her electronic warfare systems, and this time they weren't alone. Veltan ships joined them, Aquarian vessels, even 2 Thexian warships, species that had learned from Earth's example, species that had decided action was better than endless debate. The fleet jumped to slipspace together, a coalition of defenders heading toward people in need. Pilot Soman Kang strapped into her fighter, ready for launch. She thought about how different things were now. A year ago, she had flown in secret, hidden, pretending to be something she wasn't. Now she flew openly, proudly, part of a force that stood for something real. As the fleet emerged from slipspace near the Meridian homeworld, they saw the slaver ships attacking cities from orbit. Thousands of Meridians were being herded into cargo vessels. Children were being separated from parents. Admiral Jin opened a channel to the slavers. "Attention, hostile vessels. This is the Earth Defense Fleet. You are attacking a civilian population. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning." The slavers laughed. They had never heard of Earth. They didn't know the reputation Earth had built. They thought this was a bluff. They learned otherwise very quickly. The battle was short and decisive. Earth's fleet, combined with their new allies, overwhelmed the slavers in minutes. Not a single civilian died. Every slaver ship was captured. Every Meridian was freed. As the rescued people looked up at the Earth ships in orbit, They asked the same question the Veltans had asked a year ago. Who are you? Captain Day Kim stood on the surface of their world, surrounded by grateful Meridians. He thought about how to answer, how to explain what Earth had become. We're friends, he said simply. We're protectors. We're people who believe that power should be used to help those who cannot help themselves. We're Earth, and we came because you needed us. The Meridian leader, a female named Saris, looked at the human ships, at the Veltan vessels alongside them, at the coalition that had saved her people. How can we repay you? She asked. Join us, Day replied. Join the council. Add your voice to ours. Help us build a galaxy where distress calls are answered, where the strong protect the weak, where no one has to face danger alone. Saris nodded. We will. Thank you, Earth. Thank you for showing us that heroes are real. As Day walked back to his ship, he thought about how far they had come. 1 year ago, Earth had revealed its secret. Now they were building something new. Not an empire, not a dominion, but a true alliance of species dedicated to protecting innocence. It was not perfect. There were still threats, still challenges, still species like the Krell who might return to their old ways. But Earth was ready, and they were not alone. On the Soul's Hammer, Admiral Jin watched the Meridians celebrate their freedom. He thought about the simple SOS that had started everything, the distress call that had forced Earth to reveal itself. Was it worth it, sir? General Bohan asked. Giving up our secrecy? Jin smiled. Every time, every single time, because power without purpose is meaningless. We built this fleet to protect people. Today we did exactly that. I'd call that a successful mission. Across the galaxy, a message played on all frequencies. It had become Earth's signature, their promise, their commitment. This is Earth. If you need help, send your signal. We will hear it. We will come. You are not alone. And in the darkness of space, on 100 different worlds, people heard that message and felt hope. Because they knew it was true. Earth came when others would not. The SOS had revealed Earth's true military power, but more importantly, it had revealed Earth's true character, not conquerors, not tyrants, but protectors, defenders, friends to those who had none. That was the real power, and it would change the galaxy forever.